What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we've got another viewer's car. This is Mehmet's BMW 5 Series, but it's not a regular one, as you can see. This is an Alpina D5 BiTurbo. It is based on a 535d. As you can see, it's an F10 series BMW 5 Series, and it is magnificent. I absolutely love this car. Partly maybe because I used to own a 535d, and that is what this car is based on. It just brings back memories, and it is just a much better version of my car, basically, which also kind of hurts, but it also makes me very happy. So the special thing about this particular car is that it's a tuned version of a 5 Series, because Mehmet has tuned this car. As standard, an Alpina D5 BiTurbo has 350 horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque, which is up from 313 horsepower and 630 Newton meters of torque in a 535d. So it's a relatively modest jump, I would say. But this car has been tuned again. So today I'm going to show you around it. I'm going to show you all the Alpina stuff. And of course, I'll show you the stuff that Mehmet has added to this car to make it into this diesel monster. So that's what we're going to do today. And of course, I'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. Now, let's start with the exterior, because this is a full-on Alpina car. So you can choose basically a few things you can do at Alpina. You can only go for the engine tuning, but you can also add the exterior and the interior separately. So this car's had both done, which is very nice. And we've got this Alpina front bumper. This car also has the pinstripe all around the car. You can see that it is much lower, and it has this Alpina lettering down there. All functional, of course. At Alpina they properly test their stuff. Even got an Alpina badge right there. Just a chrome grille. We've got the facelift headlights. So this is a facelift 5 Series. I think it's a very handsome car still. And then we've got these 20-inch Alpina wheels. And behind that we've got brakes from, at the front, a BMW 760i, and at the rear from a BMW 550i. So Alpina changes that as well, which is very nice, because the top speed also goes from 250 to 275. For the regular Alpina, that is, for the D5 BiTurbo. As I said, the pinstripe down the side with an Alpina logo there. This is Mehmet's company on Instagram. Go check him out. And then at the rear, we've got a nice little bootlet spoiler, D5 BiTurbo and Alpina badges, and the Alpina exhaust with a little diffuser as well, as you can see. But this is one of the things that Mehmet has changed. He got rid of all the silencing in the exhaust. So you can see that this is just one or two straight pipes front to rear. And it's also got decat downpipes. So it actually produces a serious sound. Now the D5 BiTurbo from Alpina gets the exhaust from the Alpina B5, so the petrol version, but this has completely been straight piped, and the sound is pretty incredible. So what has been done right here? Well, Alpina changes the 535d engine, not that much, of course. The power bump is only 37 horsepower, so it's not that complicated, but they fiddle around with the turbo and the injectors, and they install a bigger intake and a bigger intercooler, and that is how they got 350 horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque. Peak power, by the way, at 4000 RPM, so that is very early. But then Mehmet has done the following: an ASD performance remap and a bigger high pressure fuel pump. And then combined with that straight exhaust, we've got 425 horsepower and 9,000, I wanted to say, 900 Newton meters of torque. So that is a lot. it is a very powerful car, this. The Alpina also gets the torque converter for the automatic gearbox of an M550d, and it also gets a limited slip diff by Alpina. And the fuel pump that Mehmet has installed in this car is also from an M550d. Now, one of the things that Alpina is most known for is of course the comfort. So it has lower springs, but they have reconfigured the dampers, so it is much more comfortable than a regular 535d. And you can see that because we even have a new mode in here. So you've got Sport, I'll start it up, Sport Plus, Sport, Comfort, and then we've got Comfort Plus, which you don't get on a regular 5 Series. That is Alpina, and it is incredible. I will show you later on as well, because that is just super, super cool. Now, the sound, I already said that it's quite loud, or that it produces sound, but it produces this amazing sound. This whistle, the whistling of the turbos, through the exhaust, and you've got just a 6-cylinder diesel sound, which is pretty nice. It sounds very, very industrial. It sounds like something they use on How It's Made. You know that show on Discovery, How It's Made, with all the factory stuff? How It's Made in the 1960s probably. But very, very cool. And then on the interior we've got this, I think this is the Myrtle wood by Alpina as well. So you've got a little Alpina logo right there, but that just adds a little splash of luxury and spec deliciousness to the interior of this car. We've got the comfort seats with a little Alpina logo, but these seats are just magnificent. Brings me back to my 535d. And then we've also got the blue Alpina dials that go up to 310 kilometers an hour. All right, so let's take it for a drive and see what it is like. This Alpina with some extra spice. Because I can really understand why Mehmet did this, because 350 horsepower isn't that much. I mean, it's a lot of power, but an M550d F10 has 381, and normally, you know, I would say that Alpina delivers a bit more impressive power figures, but this is quite modest. All right, so we are in comfort mode. We're going to go for Sport Plus. Start with that, and I'll show you Comfort Plus later on. But honestly, already in Sport Plus, I can feel that the suspension on this car is much better than on my car. As I've said before, my car had the M package exterior and suspension, and especially the second one is just ridiculous combined with the run flat tires that car came on as standard. It just gave you these jolts through the entire car if you went through potholes or bumps or whatever. It just wasn't really comfortable, and this car, even in Sport Plus, is just magnificent. It just filters out everything that you don't want to hear or feel. In Sport Plus you do get some feedback through your seat, which is pretty nice. I mean, yeah, this is what Alpina are known for. The setup of that suspension is just magnificent. Now, power-wise, oh, that is very torquey. You do get a little bit of black smoke in your mirrors when you floor it. Mehmet told me that he did try, or had ASD Performance try to get that out as much as possible, because he didn't want that, which I can imagine, but oh, it is pretty loud. And the black smoke really only happens at low RPM, full throttle, stuff like that. So it's not all the time that it's there, which is a good thing. So 0 to 100, the 535d takes 5.5 seconds. The Alpina D5 BiTurbo 5.1 seconds, and then today we've been able to do a 4.8 seconds 0 to 100. This car has rear wheel drive. Now of course an M550d has X-drive, all-wheel drive, but I prefer this. I think it manages pretty well with rear wheel drive. Of course you do have some wheel spin sometimes because that torque just eats up those rear tires, but it's not too bad. Okay, so at the Autobahn, let's find out if we have enough space to get close to the top speed. The car has no limiter. And you can feel that typical diesel power delivery. It shifts super early, it never feels explosively fast, but when you look at the speedo, it's actually pretty impressive the way it just keeps going at the same rate. It's just a relentless acceleration. Now, as I said, 275 kilometers an hour for the Alpina D5 BiTurbo. This car with that extra 75 horsepower should be able to do 300 plus, but that is close to 290, and we have some traffic. So you do need some space to get there, but I do think that you will be able to break that 300 kilometer an hour threshold. So of course we also measured the 100 to 200 performance, which was quite impressive, 11.27 seconds, which is around the same time as a BMW M340i, which is pretty impressive. It's also faster than other BMWs, X5, M50i, 545e. These are all the new models, right? So this old diesel can keep up with those newer petrol powered and performance cars, or the 545e is also a pretty impressive car, but I mean, you don't really feel it, but it is a very quick car and it runs beautifully. And of course, being an Alpina, it is mega comfy, as I said. So let's hit Comfort Plus, the most comfy setting, and you can just immediately feel the car changing. The entire character of the suspension goes from, as I said, quite firm, communicative, but still soaking up the bumps, to you don't feel anything anymore, and the car starts floating above the road a bit, and it is quite floaty, so you don't really feel anything anymore, but I mean, it just soaks up everything. So honestly, this is on the level of a 7 Series, this suspension. You can feel it on the bigger bumps, it just floats beautifully, and then you can see sometimes these irregularities in the road, and you just don't feel them. You see them coming, but they're gone. Absolutely magnificent, really, really good. Man, that's comfy. That is really nice. This is what I would have wanted in my 535d as well. I mean, we used that car quite a bit for longer hauls to like the south of Germany. That would have been awesome to have, because mine was terrible. And the cool thing about this, of course, is that if we go to this one, we can actually see I went up quite a bit now. It's at 9.6 liters per 100 kilometers for the last 200 kilometers. But that does include Martijn's Autobahn POV run and my run just now. It was at 8.6 earlier after Martijn's run. So fuel consumption wise, you're still pretty good. And you've got a crazy quick car with a big tank and a big range. Okay, so let's get the gearbox in manual mode by hitting this weird bulge pedal on the steering wheel into, let's go 7th gear, full throttle. Okay, that that was even a gear too low, I think, because it was perfectly fine doing that. 7th gear, 90 kilometers an hour. That is insane. Okay, let's go for 8th gear when this truck is done doing this very important overtake at 90 kilometers an hour. Okay, so we're going to do it again. 90 kilometers an hour, 8th gear. So this is top gear. Full throttle right now. 3, 2, 1, go. And there it goes. That is, honestly, that is very impressive. And then you can just keep it in this gear and go all the way to like 300 plus. That's crazy. Now it's really up to speed. Man, I love fast diesels. I love them to bits. It's just such a nice experience. They make for the ultimate travel companions, because this is just on the Autobahn absolutely amazing. 8th gear. You just don't have to take it out of that gear ever. And then that suspension, oh, like you're driving a Rolls Royce. Beautiful. Mehmet, you've got an awesome car. Thank you so much for taking it to us. I hope you enjoyed watching your own car on our channel. And to you guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it as well. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video on the right or go check out this playlist on the left. See you at the next one. Bye.